In this video, we'll start to show how to use the code generation part of the FxUI framework. So in this demonstration, what we're going to do is we have basically two tables. One's going to be a project task priority and one's a project task item. So the task priority is just an ID and a name, basically a lookup table, and the task items are going to have an ID, the task name, a due date, and then a foreign key to the project task priority. So let's create these two tables real quick. Okay, so now if we go over here to the Flex Builder and our projects, if we open up the Ant script for the FxUI gen and we do a code gen all, well, first let's make sure we look underneath here. And so under the Flex directory and the Java generated directory, there isn't any code at this point. So when we do the code gen all, you'll see it kind of produces a bunch of different output of what it's doing, and you can see files starting to be filled in here. So under the Java generated, you can see there's an instruction folder, a loader folder, model, and view. These are just all the classes for the business logic layer. If we go under the instruction area, you'll see that there's two different instructions, one for our task item and one for task priority, but all in all they're kind of pretty similar, so we can just look at either one. Basically, it tells you about moving all the Java code into the business logic layer project. We actually have a task. We go down here and run this. Okay, that's done. Now we need to expose this delegate through Blaze DS. So to do that, we put it in the remote config listed under the config flex directory. So if we go up here, config flex and remote config, go down here to the bottom, and we will add our demo delegate. So the next thing it tells us, now we need to tell Hibernate about our new mapping files. So to do that, we get the generated mapping information. And we copy it into the classes Hibernate config. And we will want to just add it to the end here. So let's go back to our instructions here. So we've completed this. So now we can add into the LoadDB Java servlet, which is kind of like a bootstrap for the database, some code to create the security keys required for our screens, as well as some navigation stuff. So if we go underneath the loader folder and open up demo loader, you'll see that the beginning here is a bunch of security keys, and this comment here of copy the following to where this number 1 is at. So now if we go and we find our servlet, which is underneath servlets, and then now let's copy this code. And we go over here and we look for our comment with the number 1. And there it is. So we add those in. Go back over here, and then we take all this, and this is going to go with the number 2. And this is basically adding those security keys to the admin role. And last but not least, we create the folder items for the navigation, which will be the number 3 that we're looking for in here, which is way near the bottom here. Okay, there's number 3. So we go back to our instructions, and it looks like we're all done. So now let's do a deploy local Tomcat war underneath our business logic layer ant tasks. So this goes ahead and builds all the Java, jars it up, makes it a war, copies it out to Tomcat, it stops and starts the Tomcat service. So that's all done. So now we can actually go and test this a little bit by going to a web browser and running the loaddb. And now inside of here you should see, here's our demo tasks items, keys getting added, and what have you. So with that, that concludes the Java generated half of it. Next we'll show how to do the Flex half of it, and that'll be in the next video due to length of time.